Good evening. In compliance with Chapter 551 of the Texas Government Code, I call to order a regular voting meeting of the Board of Trustees of the Austin Independent School District for Thursday, October 27th, 2022 at 6:07 p.m. A quorum of the board is physically present at the AISD Central Office to conduct this meeting. Board meetings are open to the public based on space availability to ensure social distancing and the health and safety of our community and staff. This meeting is streaming live on AISD TV and Apple TV. It's also being broadcast on cable channel 22 through Spectrum, Astound Broadband, and on channel 99 through AT&T Uverse. Closed captioning in English is available on these platforms for individuals who are deaf or hard of hearing. To our audience tuning in remotely and here in person, welcome and thank you for joining us. We'll move to the approval of the agenda. Secretary Singh, do you have a motion to approve the agenda?
So moved.
Is there a second?
Second.
Having a motion by Secretary Singh and a second by Trustee Anderson to approve the agenda, all those in favor, please raise your right hand. And the motion passes by all those on the dais. Secretary Singh, will you please lead us in the Pledge of Allegiance and the pledge to the Texas flag?
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Juro lealtad a la bandera de los Estados Unidos de América y a la república que representa una nación bajo Dios, indivisible, con libertad y justicia para todos. Honor the Texas flag. I pledge allegiance to thee, Texas, one state, under God, one and indivisible. Honro a la bandera de Texas. Te juro lealtad, Texas, un estado bajo Dios, único y indivisible.
Thank you, trustees. We will now move to our game changer item, which is our opportunity to recognize and observe important items happening in AISD and our nation. Dr. Mays, would you please share our recognition tonight?
I will. I have the good fortune of introducing Michelle Wallace, who will tell us about all of the great celebrations that we had a chance to have this week with our Inspire the Future luncheon.
Thank you, Dr. Mays, President Rodriguez, and trustees. I'm here tonight to ask for formal recognition for our sponsors and supporters of the Austin Ed Fund Inspire the Future luncheon. Thank you so much for those of you who could join us on Tuesday. We had over 500 guests celebrating Austin ISD at the Hilton downtown, and we enjoyed awesome student speakers, really amazing performances. We heard from Miss Willis, who's a teacher at Navarro Early College High School. Student journalists from McCallum interviewed Dr. Mays, who was introduced by his very own daughter, which was a surprise that I'll never hear the end of. And the luncheon is the largest fundraiser for the Ed Fund and the biggest source of support for the teacher grant program. So we're very grateful to our community. We had over 90 sponsors, 240 individuals and organizations that
Would you like her to move to the other microphone?
Yes, please.
Yep. Sorry, we're having just a little technical difficulty.
Is this better? All right. So we have annual sponsors that provide support for the entire year and are recognized at multiple events. That's A+ Federal Credit Union, ACR Engineering, HEB, Wells Fargo, Marion and Chris Casey, Amy and Ken Jones, and Barbara and Bart Nags. A thank you to our platinum sponsors, AECOM, Samsung, Austin Semiconductor, Buena Vista Foundation, the Klein Foundation, the Tapestry Foundation. And our gold sponsors, DLR Group, Google, JP Morgan Chase, Oric, Xerox Business Solutions, Southwest. And our silver sponsors, American Constructors, Ascension Seton, I've made a new word, Bartlett Koch, Encotech Engineering Services, Garza EMC, Imagine Learning, Kitchell CEM, MFI Foundation, O'Connell, Robertson, Stantec, Thompson and Horton LLP. And we also have bronze sponsors, our public ed partners and supporters who helped make this event a success. The community can find a list of all of our sponsors and a list of our Leadership Giving Circle members at austinedfund.org. Trustees, it's my pleasure to request formal recognition for the Inspire the Future sponsors. Thank you.
Thank you, Michelle. Trustee Ashe, do you have a recognition statement to share?
I do. On behalf of the Austin ISD Board of Trustees, it is my honor to recognize this year's Austin Ed Fund Inspire the Future luncheon sponsors for their support and commitment to Austin ISD students, staff, and families. And I hope they enjoyed as much as I did learning about Dr. Mays' snoring habits. Since 2015, the Austin Ed Fund has hosted the Inspire the Future Luncheon, which brings together community members and business partners to celebrate Austin ISD students and staff, as well as raise money benefiting schools and programs across the city. With the previous 2 years having been hosted virtually, the community was eager to return and attend in person, where attendees heard from Interim Superintendent Dr. Mays, celebrated our talented students and staff, and recognized the community's support for our public schools here in Austin. At this year's Inspire the Future Luncheon on October 25th, 93 generous sponsors pledged a total of, drumroll please, $248,000 in sponsorships. This financial support will impact students, staff, and families across Austin ISD through teacher grants, crisis support, and district-wide programming. These types of partnerships are to be commended. It is with great pride that the Board of Trustees of the Austin Independent School District recognizes and thanks the Austin Ed Fund Inspire the Future event sponsors for their partnership in the support of the Austin ISD community.
Thank you, Trustee Ashe, and
Thank
you,
you.
Michelle. Our next item is the President's Report. As a reminder to our community, voting for the federal, state, and local midterm election opened last Monday. According to data from the Secretary of State's office, Texas is currently at 9% of registered voters casting a ballot, and Travis County is at 9.7%. And as a reminder for early voting and on Election Day, you may vote at any polling location. Early voting is open every day through Friday, November 4th from 7 a.m. to 7 p.m. and from noon to 6 p.m. this Sunday. And Election Day is Tuesday, November 8th from 7 a.m. to 7 p.m. You can find voting locations and sample ballots on the Travis County election webpage and on most local media websites. In addition to federal offices and state offices, this ballot also has trustee elections, bond elections, and other local issues. So please get informed on what is on the ballot, make a plan to get to the polls, and wear your I voted or Yo voté, those right here, Yo voté sticker proudly. We encourage everyone, especially our students who are voting age, to exercise their right to vote. And I would be remiss if I didn't mention that if you need any more information on the AISD bond, to go to AISDfuture.com. Next, I want to give an update on policy FFAC local, wellness and health services medical treatment. This is a new item on tonight's consent agenda. This policy was not previewed at the October 13th board information session and was brought to the policy committee on October 17th. Our committed agreement for board policies typically follows a discussion at the policy committee being shared at an information session and then voted on at a regular voting meeting. The administration requested the policy committee for special permission to bring this policy forward now, and as this change is directly related to responding to the current opioid crisis. AISD is committed to the health and safety of our students, and we felt it was urgent that we begin an opioid awareness campaign and begin making Narcan readily accessible to AISD schools immediately. The change of this policy is to ensure that we as a district are meeting state requirements for nurses and staff to administer Narcan in the event of an opioid emergency. These steps, part of Fake and Fatal Awareness Campaign, comes in response to fentanyl overdoses in neighboring school districts and rising national numbers of fentanyl-related fatalities. Staff will be prepared to answer any questions from trustees on this item, and the district plans more as part of their awareness campaign and their campus and media outreach. So you'll hear more about that. I'm going to move to item 4.2, which is the announcement of 2022 Board Continuing Education Credits. Texas law requires that a school board publicly share the completion and total number of continuing education requirements for trustees. In 2022, Letitia Anderson, Kristen Ashe, Lynn Boswell, Kevin Foster, Geronimo Rodriguez, Arti Singh, Yasmin Wagner, and Ofelia Maldonado Zapata met or exceeded the required minimum number of Topic 1, Topic 2, and Topic 3 continuing education hours. These included local district orientation, orientation to the Texas Education Code, post-legislative updates to the Texas Education Code, team building, evaluating student academic performance and setting goals, identifying and reporting abuse, trafficking and other maltreatment of children, safety training, and other types of continuing education. Noelita Lugo met the required minimum number of Topic 2 and Topic 3 continuing education hours and will need to make up cybersecurity and school safety training. Trustees are required to complete 5 additional hours every year of continuing education, and for this last year, trustees earned the following additional hours. Letitia Anderson, 11.5 hours, Kristen Ashe, 9 hours, Lynn Boswell, 22 hours, Kevin Foster, 8 hours, Noelita Lugo, 8 hours, Geronimo Rodriguez, 11.25 hours, Arti Singh, 8 hours, Yasmin Wagner, 8 hours, Ofelia Maldonado Zapata, 20.5 hours. So congratulations to my board colleagues on their commitment to continuous learning. And at this time, we would like to have trustees provide committee reports as we move on to item number 5. Trustee Ashe, can you share the policy report and the report for the Austin Education Fund?
I certainly can. I'll start with the Policy Committee, which convened at 11:37 on Monday, October 17th, with myself, Trustee Foster, and Trustee Boswell present. Also present from administration were Dr. Jacob Reach, Edna Butts, Alana, I'm so sorry, I'm not speaking clearly, Alana Bejarano, Brandy Hosek, and Michael Rosenberry. Trustee Arti Singh was present for a portion of the meeting as well via phone, and Trustee candidate David Kaufman also attended. The committee discussed FFAC local, which, thank you, President Rodriguez, for bringing that up and bringing it to the attention of the community, because it is outside of our normal practice, and it is not something that we took lightly in making the suggestion for it to come forward. It was explained to us in great detail that without us passing this policy tonight, our nurses on campus would not be able to administer the Narcan unless we passed this policy. And we wanted to do that as soon as possible in order to keep our students as safe as possible. So the committee recommended that it be expedited on the board's agenda, and that so that school personnel can administer when necessary. Hopefully won't ever be necessary, but if it is, we want them to have the ability to do so. And so it is on the board's agenda for approval this evening. The committee also discussed adding a provision that pregnant and parenting students be offered the opportunity to meet with the school counselor, the campus deputy Title IX coordinator, or the district Title IX coordinator to learn what educational and special program options are available to the students through FNE Local, Students' Rights and Responsibilities, and these amendments are recommended for the board's November agenda. The committee reviewed possible amendments to DGB Local, which is Personnel and Management Relations, to revise outdated provisions and consider how our consultation agent is selected. And the committee will continue discussion of this policy at its November meeting. We also briefly reviewed proposed changes to FFH Local and DIA Local, dealing with freedom from discrimination, harassment, and retaliation, and FB Local, with equal educational opportunity. And the committee will consider these policies at the November meeting as well. The committee discussed EHBA Local, which is Special Education Video Audio Monitoring, and the revised policy is on the board's consent agenda this evening. Trustee Singh requested additional amendments which may be brought before the committee at a future meeting. The committee adjourned at 1:11 p.m. and the next meeting is scheduled for November 7th at 10 a.m. And now to move on to the Austin Ed Fund. We were so lucky to get to have Michelle Wallace here this evening to help us recognize the wonderful Inspire the Future Luncheon, which was the big event for the Austin Ed Fund this month. And it was incredibly inspiring. And I will say, in a point of privilege, my personal favorite, other than the snoring, which was, I'm not going to lie, one of my favorite moments, was also the incredible mariachi band that was at the end, and was a young student who, it was a big room, I'm not going to lie. It was a big room full of a lot of people, and it was so fun to watch. He took a big sigh right before he performed, and then he just knocked it out of the park, as did the rest of the musicians that were there, so it was very, very fun. The full board met on October 20th at the Rosedale School, and the board discussed several financial items, heard committee reports, and heard a presentation from Dr. Teresa Arocha-Gill and Austin ISD's Executive Director of Special Education, and board members had an opportunity to tour the school after the meeting. And that concludes my reports.
Thank you very much, Trustee Ashe. Trustees, are there any other committee or training reports to share tonight? If not, I'm going to move on to item number 6. And Dr. Mays is going to start with the story about the snoring. The next items are under the superintendent's report. Dr. Mays.
See, y'all are gonna make me put my daughter on punishment. Jacob, if you could pull up that presentation for me. You can go ahead and go to the next slide. And so, again, board members, public, again, thank you all for being here with us. I'm pleased to report to you all that the district recently contracted with KBRA, Kroll Rating Agency, to give the district a bond rating due to the decisions we have recently made as a district to balance our budget despite our funding and pandemic challenges. We will be the first school district in Texas that Kroll will rate. They were looking at us and Dallas ISD and Houston ISD. We have received a AAA bond rating with a stable outlook. This further reinforces our strong financial business practices as a district and will ensure we receive the lowest interest rates we can obtain in the market while having now 2 AAA bond ratings from both Moody's and now Kroll. And a friendly reminder that early voting has started and we're anxiously anticipating Election Day on November 8th. Next slide, please. Last night, our human capital team hosted a dinner and social event for over 70 student teachers in our district. These are our future teachers, and we wanted to let them know how important they are and how much we appreciate their work with our students. We also wanted to encourage them to become members of Team AISD. And guess what? We offered contracts, and 20 of them signed last night. No pressure, no pressure. And so I do want to recognize Mr. Ramos and Brandy for their creativity. I call it putting some bait on the hook. We had plenty of bait on the hook last night for our teachers. Again, the $500 didn't lure them in, but I think the $2,000 after student teaching and then the $2,000 after completing a year with us of teaching, I think was pretty attractive. And we said that that's just a starting point. And so we're excited to welcome them to our team. You may have heard about our NAEP scores results this week. I'm proud to say that despite the COVID-19 pandemic, Austin ISD held steady in 3 of the 4 grade level subject areas. AISD held steady in 4th grade math and 4th grade reading and 8th grade reading. While we did see a slight decline in 8th grade math, a huge thank you to all of our teachers, leaders, and support staff. Your commitment and dedication are appreciated. Next slide, please. Austin ISD Showcase. So last weekend we held the first Austin ISD Showcase at the Palmer Event Center. We had over 2,500 parents, students attended, and explore all the opportunities that we offer in the district. I remember at one point, Trustee Boswell, you said that we have so many great things that people don't know about, but this gives every family an opportunity to learn more about it. And so a huge thank you to Christina Burbank. I call her an operational expert or wizard. And the entire DCCE team, our volunteers and our school representatives for making this happen. Students and family enjoyed student performances and hands-on activities. We're looking forward to making this an annual event. Next slide, please. So this morning, we started our Read for the Record, and we celebrated the practice of one-day challenge for elementary schools to participate in a shared reading experience. I spent my morning with Ms. McLean's 3rd grade class at Oak Hill Elementary School while reading Nigel and the Moon. Joining me in my effort was Carl Spencer, president of 100 Black Men and senior administrative associate at the University of Texas at Austin, Red McComb School of Business, who read to students at Campbell Elementary. Students in 41 classrooms had guest readers at 17 campuses across the district. Thank you all, and thank you to all of our volunteers for your support and instilling the love of reading in our kids. Next slide, please. And this was pretty fun. For those of you that don't know, we got a chance to recognize Gloria Bedoya this month with a Golden Raven. I'm gonna make her stand up because I know she's shy back there. She's with our Department of Communications and Community Engagement. And so Gloria's gone above and beyond to make sure absolutely everyone knows about the 2022 bond. She's doing this by reaching out to all of our campuses and some of our hardest to reach communities. I see her in so many places, I'm a little surprised when I go home at night and she's not there. She's everywhere. So she's attended more than 80 events and meetings to share information about the bond. And behind the scenes, she has been instrumental in coordinating other Austin ISD team members to support the bond outreach efforts to make sure everyone knows how the bond could fix critical repairs in our schools that could free up money that could be used to pay teachers more. Special shout out to Gloria's community engagement teammates and to Jeremy Striffler, Lola Shores, Miguel Garcia, and our operations team who have also gone the extra mile to support our bond outreach. Next slide. Austin ISD has been selected as a district of distinction for the Texas Art Education Association for the 4th year in a row. Austin ISD is one of the year's 59 winners out of over 1,200 school districts which are eligible to apply. This honor recognizes the district's ongoing commitment to providing a well-rounded education that includes a comprehensive visual arts curriculum. Our Performing Arts Center was also selected as the host site of the 2022 State Visual Arts Scholastic Events Gold Seal Art Winners. The state-winning artwork is currently on display at the PAC until November 3rd, 2022, so you don't have to go to the airport. Trustee Boswell, you can go to our PAC and see our artwork. And thank you to our Director of Performing Arts for his leadership, Philip Taylor. Next slide, please. And so this afternoon at lunch, 5 of our campuses were honored by Austin Chamber of Commerce at the State of Education Luncheon. The focus was on preparing our students for higher education opportunities. In the small campus area, we had the highest Applied Texas, and that was LBJ High School, 78%, Dr. Joseph Welch. I'll be honest with you all, last year we attended that luncheon and we put a target on some of these other districts. And so we're not finished working on catching them and becoming #1 in every area. So small campuses, highest FAFSA completion rate, Ann Richards with 96%. That was Maria Narvaez at, again, Ann Richards. Medium campus, highest FAFSA completion rate was LASA with 91%, and that's Stacia Crescenzi. Large campus, highest FAFSA completion, Anderson High at 86%, Principal Beth Newton. Small campus survey completion, Ann Richards with 100%, again, Principal Maria Narvaez. Medium campus survey completion rate, 100%, Corey Crawford, Principal Corey Crawford. Highest overall direct-to-college campus, LASA at 89% with Stacia Crescenzi. And so that's a lot of hard work done on behalf of our principals. And so I do want to take a moment to give them a round of applause for working so hard to make sure our students get this work completed. Next slide, please. Travis Heights Elementary teacher Luz Alvarez Sims was selected as one of 15 recipients of the 2022 Humanities Texas Outstanding Teacher Award. Alvarez Sims was selected out of 600 nominated teachers from across the state and received a $5,000 cash award and an additional $1,000 for her school for instructional materials. Next slide, please. Zachary Zuri, a senior at LASA, has been selected by the Library Foundation as the 2022 Austin Youth Poet Laureate. He was selected for his commitment to civic and community engagement, social justice, and education, as well as his poetry. Next slide, please. McCallum High School junior Georgia Halverson won second place in the junior division of the National Old Time Fiddlers Contest. How many of y'all knew it was a fiddlers contest? Okay, all right. Her national award comes on the heels of awards in Gainesville, Athens, and Texas statewide fiddlers contest. So that is a big deal. Next slide. Network analyst Daniel Olivas is one of the three winners of the 2022 eSchool News K-12 Hero Award, which recognizes K-12 professionals for their innovative efforts during the pandemic-era school year. Olivas was recognized for his work implementing a new user-friendly digital security strategy to provide access to classroom tools on any Wi-Fi network. Next slide, please. LASA tennis. The LASA varsity tennis team has advanced to the state for the first time. The Raptors will compete in their state tennis tournament this week against Amarillo High School. We wish them luck and appreciate their coaches, Vincent Vinciano and Alicia Salinas. Next slide. All right, this is a big one. Your turn. All right, finally, I have the pleasure of sharing with the board and the broader community the recognition of one of our board members. Recently, at a celebration at Celebrando Austin 2022, the Greater Austin Hispanic Chamber of Commerce bestowed the Lifetime Achievement Award. I'm gonna say it again. The Lifetime Achievement Award on our own president, Geronimo Rodriguez. So let's give him. He was recognized for the incredible work that he did to get our teachers and staff to the front of the line for COVID vaccination, as well as for his steady, collegial, and calm leadership on this board. We are truly fortunate to have him volunteer his time and service on this board, and while he continues to serve the greater Austin community, on behalf of the Grateful School District, we join the Greater Austin Hispanic Chamber of Commerce in honoring you and your work and saying thank you. So thank you, Trustee Rodriguez. Again, we appreciate you and we're thankful to have you here. And that concludes my report, sir.
Thank you. I will just say for the record that any rumors of my retirement are very, very premature. Trustees, are there any questions on the superintendent's report? If not, we will move on to, by the way, congratulations to the district on the AAA bond rating. That is no small feat, and just a round of applause for them. Like, that is just incredible. The next item is an update on the 2017 bond. Dr. Mace?
Mr. Matias will be coming up and joining us and bringing us all up to date on where we are. So again, in addition to those AAA bond ratings, we're being fiscal stewards in other ways too, and Mr. Segura will share that with us.
Absolutely. So thank you for the opportunity to provide the 2017 bond update. Dr. Mays, President Rodriguez, Board of Trustees, happy to be here. So one of the things I think is worth noting is just the sheer amount of work that's been completed over the 2017 bond program. You can see here on the slide the list of modernizations, full and phased. And when you think about this, these are complete teardowns and rebuilds, or they're comprehensive designs that take pieces of the school that still have useful life and then creating a completely new student environment for our students and staff. We are very much near complete with only 2 modernizations outstanding, including the General Marshall Middle School and the LBJ Early College Phase 1. So overall, 86% of the bond has been spent. 95% of the projects are on budget, and 130 plus projects have been completed to date. Again, a variety of different sizes from $10,000 all the way up to a little over $100 million. So one of the things I think is often worth discussing is that throughout this process, we work with our Community Bond Oversight Committee. This committee is appointed by the board, and they provide oversight. We report to them on a monthly basis and provide financial updates, provide them risk updates, and use them as an advisory body to help us manage the bond program. And so as you can see, since 2017, we've met 59 times. It does not include the tours that we give, typically in July and December. They've been a very critical part of the process, providing that oversight, and we thank them very much for their time in this effort, because it is a very time-consuming effort. Another point worth discussing is the communication process that we implemented through the bond program. To date, we've had 30 milestone ceremonies. Many of you all have attended them. They're a fantastic way to celebrate either the start or the completion of a project. Those include groundbreakings, ribbon cuttings. We've also had over 80 community meetings along the way. One of the things I think we're most proud of are the campus architectural teams, affectionately known as CATs. These are groups that are pulled together. They are led by our principals. They include community members, staff members, and various stakeholders, and they are with us at every step along the way, informing the design, and this has shown to be very much true as each of these campuses truly embody the community that they reside in. So we're very, very excited. It was something that had never been completed before, and it's worked extremely well. Additionally, it's very important that we talk about the HUB program, the Historically Underutilized Business Program that supports the bond program. Danita, the director, has been doing a tremendous job with her staff working to identify opportunities. And as you can see here, on the professional services side, our goal was 28.5%. We're at 48% now. In construction, our goal was 21.9. We've achieved 19. Always looking for opportunities to increase that. And as you can imagine, for us, it's always trying to educate, identify opportunities, and just reduce barriers for those organizations that have historically had challenges. So that work will continue, certainly, as we look forward to a future bond program. People often ask me, what are some of the biggest challenges that you've had with the 2017 bond program? And it's very, very easy for me to distill that down into just a couple. The first is escalation. You've heard me talk about that for years now, and the fact that Central Austin is in a very escalated market. Just look downtown, you can see all the cranes. Things are very, very expensive, and they have been for quite some time. We've been seeing between 12 and 14% escalation, which means that for every $100 million in construction value, you lose about $12 million to $14 million if you delay by 1 year. So just really being creative, developing different packages, going to our guarantee maximum price at different times during the process has helped us mitigate that risk. And we've shown that to be successful just because we've been able to hit our project budgets and timelines. The other thing I'll point out is the pandemic. We had to completely change our safety protocols. We had to complete our construction sequences. We had to change really just about everything that we do. If you recall, at one point, the city had contemplated actually shutting down construction for a period of time in Austin. It was an incredibly nervous time for us, as that would have had a significant impact on our ability to deliver these schools on time and on budget. And then lastly, real estate. We often talk about these projects, but we don't often consider the amount of real estate and the transactions that have to be executed in a timely manner in order to get these projects off the ground, whether that's condemnation, knowing that we share multiple sites with the City of Austin, easements, right-of-ways, acquisition of new sites that had been previously been identified. As an example of that would be the General Marshall 20-acre site. So each of these are learning lessons, pose challenges, but very excited that our team with our partners were able to navigate all of them successfully and have definitely positioned us well as we move forward. And if you recall, back in 2017, when we started this process, we talked about design build. It's something that had not been previously considered in AISD, nor really anywhere else in Texas. We adopted that construction methodology, and I'm happy to say that it's worked extremely well. Having our general contractors on board as we move through the design process, helping us think of ways to reduce costs, has really been a great strategy. We think about budgets differently. You know, there's no longer a big pot of money for contingency. We identify contingency at every single step along the way in the budgeting process, and then we work with the CBOC to identify surplus funds to be reallocated at the appropriate time. Just a more intentional process that we've moved through. Safety and workers' protections, certainly always a priority for us. You know, we've been able to implement the Davis-Bacon wage program within the 2017 bond program. We have multiple site visits and controls that we implement, and we'll be looking to expand that as we move forward as well. You heard me earlier talk about condemnations, and for us, you know, thoughtful planning is absolutely critical. In order to go fast, you have to go slow in the beginning sometimes, and that means really thinking through all the different dynamics. Many of these properties have been held by AISD for 60, 70, 80 years, so a lot to uncover there, but very pleased with the amount of information we've learned, and we're well positioned as we move forward. And certainly, we can't talk about all of this and being as efficient as we are without talking about the City of Austin and the role that they play. You know, working with them through the interlocal agreement, you know, managing how we work, you know, the inspection timelines, the review timelines, all of these things have a significant impact on the project budgets. Many, many, many years ago, it seems like Rodney Gonzalez presented with me to the board, and we kind of laid out a framework for the 2017 bond program. And I'm happy to say that with our collaboration and coordination, we've been able to address any issue that's come about. Some of those have kept me up at night for many, many days. But we were able to get through all of them. And so, you know, the net of it all is that, you know, AISD can be incredibly efficient and at the same time be very thoughtful and creative. And I can't say it enough. It doesn't show better than the schools that we've been able to deliver and how tailored they are to the community that they reside in. And so certainly have a lot of backup information, but wanted to share that 2017 bond program overview and answer any questions if you have any.
Thank you, Matthias. Trustees, questions? Trustee Ashe.
Mine isn't a question, it's a thank you. It's a thank you to you, Matthias, and your team. Having watched this even from before I was in this seat and watching how you and your team managed everything that you managed, not just, it was a huge bond at that time and still is, and you and your team managed it beautifully, and I am proud. I am proud to have been a part of that with you, and proud to sit here now and thank you for your management of it, for your leadership, and for everything you've done for the 2017 bond. So thank you.
Thank you for saying that. I appreciate that.
Trustees? I want to add to what Trustee Ashe said, Matthias. Your focus of you and your team on relationships, collaboration, and teamwork has been incredible. And the only thing I would suggest to the board, I think after we get done, because I noticed that you're at 86%, whenever you get to 100%, I think we should pause and celebrate and ask Rodney Gonzalez, Spencer Cronk, the mayor, and others that have helped and been involved in breaking down some of those barriers to celebrate, because I think we always put our heads down and work really hard, and I appreciate that about you and your team and all of the district team. But I think it's worthy of taking a pause and celebrating. So thank you again. Trustees, next is a notice of intruder detection audit. Dr. Mays?
We have Dr. Reach and Mr. Skura back up to update us all on where we are right now.
Thank you, Board of Trustees, Superintendent Mays. So we are back to share with the Board of Trustees that Austin ISD has continued to receive intruder detection audits. As a reminder, the intruder detection audits were implemented by the state of Texas at the start of this school year and are run through the Texas State School Safety Center out of Texas State University. Since we last met, we have had an additional 10 schools conduct an audit, and at least one or more of those schools did have one portion where they had a corrective finding on that audit. I do want to share that while we are not able to share the exact details of what occurred during those audits of those schools, as we don't want to identify security issues, we have met with those campuses. We have met with our Safety and Security Committee, and our safety team and Mr. Segura's team have met to make sure that we're addressing whatever it is may have triggered that corrective action need. I would also share that what we have seen this past round was around interior doors only. There were no exterior door findings. Most of this is just looking at are in the interior doors locked, and we continue to work with our campuses, our principals, our maintenance staff, our facility staff to make sure we're quickly addressing that. So to date, we have shared with the trustees on 18 of our campuses. At our next board meeting, we know that we have at least 8 more that we will be sharing. I don't know off the top of my head how many of those have a finding or not, but we do expect throughout the entire school year for 75% of our schools at a minimum to have a safety audit. So I will pause there. If there's any questions on the overall process of the safety audit, otherwise we can provide our Board of Trustees detailed information on these campuses in executive session.
I would
Trustees,
just,
I'm sorry, go ahead.
I would just remind the trustees before we go into the questions that, again, this is a process that our principals are working to, again, improve and get stronger at. And so these findings only help us get stronger. And I know that our administrators, teachers, and the team that you have sitting in front of you are diligently working to make sure that we get stronger with each and every audit.
Trustee Ashe?
One of the most common questions that I'm asked, particularly as it pertains to elementary school campuses, and so, and to put a little bit of context in this, I know that there's very good reasons why we're asked to have our interior doors locked, but I was wondering if you might be able to provide some context for people to understand the rationale for having interior doors locked.
Yeah, I think one of the most important issues is just the safety of having people not being able to go further into buildings, further into rooms, and the time that it takes to try to get into a locked room. The little evidence that's out there has shown that people just move on from locked doors. They don't try to break down doors or break down windows. So we know that having a locked door is the safest thing. It also does what we need in the event of an emergency and buys needed time so that we can ensure that our wonderful police department and other teams can respond out there to situations. Anything to add?
Thank you. Trustees, other questions? I know I just have one comment, which is, and to Dr. Mays' point, I know that our principals are the tip of the spear around a lot of these audits, and this is an additional other duties as assigned, but it's one of the most important ones. So I really appreciate all of our principals taking the lead on that with obviously the district's direction. So I think with that, are we done with this topic, or are we going to share more information? We're going to share more information during the executive session. Okay, thank you. Thank you all very much. So we will now move to public testimony for items on consent agenda. Members of the public wishing to participate in the public testimony portion of our meeting, call the dedicated AISD phone line in advance of the meeting to sign up to speak in person or to audio record their remarks. And tonight, we have, for the first time, 0 people signed up to speak in person, and we have 0 individuals who left a recorded message. So as a reminder to our community, please feel free to share any general comments or questions on non-voting items with the board by email at trustees@austinisd.org. So trustees, with that, I'm going to move to our next item, item 8, is the scorecard discussion and a review of item 1.2, SPED growth for reading and math. So Dr. Mays?
And we do have our team coming up. Dr. Drew Robinette, the mighty soldier that has picked up the special education mantle. And some of this information may look familiar. And again, Chief Casas and the rest of the team, and they'll be sharing an update. Again, some of this information may look familiar because I believe you all saw some of this a little earlier in the summer. I'll turn it over to Chief Casas.
Right. Good evening, everyone. Today we're here to talk about Scorecard Goal 1, students currently receiving special education service demonstrating achievement on state assessments, all grades, all subjects at the meets grade level will increase from 36 to 60% by August 2026. So you go to the next slide. Okay. So here you have today we're talking about let me back up. Okay, so we previously talked about end of the year data. So goal 1, from 2021, we went from 21 to 26%. That was our actual end of the year score. The goal was 25, so we did meet the goal and exceeded it by 1%. So today we're here to give an update on the progress towards that goal. For next year, at the end of 2023, it should be 31%. So GPM 1.1 is looking at the percent of students meeting their growth projection from beginning of the year to the end of the year, and for reading, and GPM 1.2 is looking at math. And so the goal by the end of the year for reading would be 39% of the students meeting their growth projection and 51% on math. Today we're looking at the percent of meeting growth targets, looking at beginning of the year last year to beginning of the year this year. The one thing that I do want to point out as we're talking about looking at the scorecard and the targets, that as we were thinking about the goal progress measure should inform, are we in progress to meet our goal, and thinking about the difference between the percent of students meeting their growth targets doesn't really inform us if we're on target to meet the goal of the percent of students being on grade level or above. And so there's a little bit of a misalignment that as we're thinking about next year's goals and the targets that we want to set in any revisions, that we might want to have some discussions about this one target. Okay, I'm going to turn over to Dr. Robinette.
Thank you, Ms. Casas. Good evening, everybody. Thank you, Board of Trustees, Interim Superintendent Mays, for having us here. So the next slide that you have in front of you should be familiar to you. And this is actually related to what the scorecard goal is. For this scorecard measure, we haven't yet received the TAPER report, but the estimate is provided by the Office of Accountability based on their use of a TEA-sponsored site for Texas schools. In prior years, preliminary data has been aligned to these goals, or to this particular achievement level. I just want to point out, just as Ms. Casas did, that this particular goal is around student achievement, and we have been focusing on growth. And so that should be predictive of the goal that we're measuring, and we're actually measuring two different things. However, we will give our update on the goal progress measure that we have to date with our MAP growth. The first graph really shows something you've seen before, that Austin ISD was slightly above the state when we were referencing students receiving special education services at the meets grade level at 26% relative to the state at 24%. We saw a decline in 2021 to 21%, which was consistent with the state. However, we had a greater decline in our students. And then we've demonstrated based on that projection that the Office of Accountability has been able to derive from state reporting for all subjects. We are projected to be at 26%. All alignment with this, we know that this still indicates for us a critical need for student achievement to improve. in our district. This is where we are relative to our state, but it is certainly not where we need to be in terms of achievement for all of our students that are receiving special education services, as has been indicated not only by our reporting, but in communication with Dr. Stetson and our multiple years of working to ensuring that our students with disabilities are improving at rates of meeting grade level standards and above, because we know they can. So the next slide just indicates, the next few slides that you'll see connected to this one are going to pair with your board monitoring report that you're familiar with. One of the things we did slightly differently for tonight is we're pairing reading together and mathematics together just in order to be able to sort of unpack that, but it really follows the same process. And today's review is from beginning of year last year to beginning of year this year, and we are considering it's at least in terms of scorecard progress monitoring that we are in progress in terms of our reading and on track for mathematics at 53% for reading for math assessment growth at the beginning of year for our students in grades kindergarten through 8 receiving special education services, and at 50% for the beginning of the year, and then at 57% for mathematics. Dr. Gill will take us through a bit more unpacking of the data at a more granular level to look at all of our student groups.
Good evening, trustees, and good evening, Interim Superintendent Dr. Mays. Looking at Table 1, for the progress measure for GPI 1, at the beginning of the year, we had 50% of all students receiving special education services meeting their projected growth target at the beginning of the year, and then we set a target of 53% for the end of the year. For all students in K through 8, 53% of students met growth target for reading compared to 50% of our students receiving special education services. And then for further comparison, 47% of our students receiving special education services who are experiencing poverty met growth target for reading compared to 49% of the all student group in that same category. In addition, at the all students category for MAP growth in reading, for students not considered economically disadvantaged, we see 55% meeting their projected growth target at the beginning of the year compared to 52% of students receiving special education services in that same category. The next slide. In Table 3 provides a demographic breakdown of reading percentages and student groups meeting their projected growth target from beginning of the year to the beginning of the year. At the all students receiving special education services, 50% met their growth target from BOY to BOY, as compared to 44% of African American students, 49% of Hispanic students, 52% of white students, and 49% of emergent bilingual students receiving special education services. And among these data sets, we can see differences from up to an 8 percentage point variance in meeting the projected growth target across student groups. The next slide. Looking at Table 2, for math, we met and exceeded by 1 point the targeted percentage of 56% set for the 22-23 school year. Recall in the prior year, we had work to do to sustain student growth. There is a gap in math of 3 points between the baseline data for the all-student group of 60% as compared to 57% for all of our K through 8 students receiving special education services. We do see a similar trend in reading with regard to the growth of students receiving special education services across economically disadvantaged and non-economically disadvantaged categories. And so the data in Tables 1 and 2 provide comparisons to see how students receiving special education services are making growth compared to their non-disabled peers. The next slide. In Table 4 provides a demographic breakdown of math results and students meeting their projected growth target from beginning of the year to beginning of the year. At the all students receiving special education services, 57 met their growth target from BOY to BOY as compared to 53% of African American students, 55 of Hispanic students, 62% of white students, and 54% of emergent bilingual students receiving special education services. And so the variance among these student groups ranges up to 8 percentage points. The data that I just shared with you provides a snapshot of growth during the summer and the start of this year. And there is an ongoing need to disaggregate data by campuses, by grade level, by classrooms, to identify where support is needed and where we have evidence of best practices.
Good evening. Our district special education leadership team has organized the work around 3 big rocks that you'll see here on the left-hand side of the slide to prioritize student outcomes. First, compliance. Both district and campus leaders are accountable for decisions regarding students receiving special education or Section 504 services. And state and federal regulations must be followed, and campus principals have a key responsibility to see that these are carried out. The special education department supports each campus leadership team by providing a designated district-level special education coordinator and supervisor. And we provide guidelines, responsive communication, and the creation of systems that support the recruitment, training, and supervision of highly qualified personnel. Second, we prioritize teacher effectiveness. We build teacher capacity to provide high-quality instruction by training staff on academic intervention and behavior supports that are grounded in evidence. We'll talk more about instruction in the coming slides. Last and most importantly, we believe all students have a right to be included. Inclusion means all students are educated in the general education classroom to the greatest extent appropriate. And our work is grounded in inclusive practices and beliefs, meaning campus staff work to break down barriers to participation and belonging. Students receive standards-based instruction in the general education curriculum. Individualized supports are available when needed, and decisions are made on the basis of student needs, not labels and not placements. Likewise, the Stetson report identified 5 areas of improvements shown on the right-hand side of the slide. They include leadership, instruction, staffing, capacity building, and family engagement. And these areas of improvement go hand in hand with our team's 3 priorities. Our department knows we've got work to do, and we have adjustments that need to be made. Next slide. Now, tonight's presentation and earlier slides from Dr. Gill and Dr. Robinette have focused on academic achievement. To dive deeper, Dr. Stetson emphasized recent research from the Heckinger report that showed 90% of students with a disability have the cognitive ability to meet the same academic standards and graduate using the same criteria as non-disabled peers. The data in the slides we presented earlier show that we have some gaps in performance and growth. So we're making some adjustments which start with an emphasis on academic achievement for all students, including our students receiving special education. Because about 3/4 of our students receiving special education services in Austin ISD spend more than 80% of their day in general education classrooms, general education teachers share responsibility for improving student outcomes. For students to more effectively access learning, we have increased work to do in the area of strong Tier 1 instruction. A little more about Tier 1. Strong Tier 1 is also known as core instruction or first teach. And for the great majority of students with disabilities, success with on-grade level content can be achieved with the use of building a strong foundation of oral language, expanding academic vocabulary, increasing background and content knowledge, and differentiating instruction, designing lessons with scaffolds so that all students can access flexible grouping, accommodations, social emotional learning, and positive behavioral strategies. Now, Tier 1 strategies like these allow teachers to intensify instruction as determined by routinely collected assessment data, which happens through the collection of multiple points of data, such as the STAR data that we talked about earlier, the MAP growth data shared tonight as well. as well as data that teachers collect from short cycle assessments, classroom tests, and observations all through the day. And although Stetson found some gaps across general education instruction, the special education team is collaborating across departments to build stronger systems of support for teachers that leverage strong Tier 1 instruction and that ensure our special education teachers have time to plan and review data with general education teachers during PLCs and other designated teacher planning opportunities. Additionally, offering professional learning that builds teacher capacity is critical. One such opportunity I want to highlight tonight is our Central Texas Dyslexia Conference, which launches tomorrow. Registration is available for all, staff and families through the external website. I actually have a t-shirt for each of you tonight, and I'm wearing mine very proudly as well. Dr. Mays has already received his, just so you know. But opportunities such as these engage stakeholders and teacher capacity to support learners with reading and writing challenges. Make sure to search the Dyslexia Conference on our Austin ISD external website, and you'll be able to register as well. Dr. Robinette is going to talk more about the work underway and ahead in the next slides.
I don't know if I can follow the commercial in that way that I intended to, but I will try to be equally as important, or you can call whatever, 777. My kids used to remember all those things if you need more information. But so the adjustments for systems for continuous improvement, those three categories that you saw in the prior slide, we came to you about those in June. And we said that we knew we had shared responsibility and commitment to be able to develop a plan and execute some things around those areas. And so what we want to talk to you about is what adjustments have been made, because it's not a new thing every month. It's for us to really dig in and do that particular work with alignment. So it's going to take some time for us, and that's what we're doing. And so when we came to you, we wanted to talk to you about those things strategically, not to confuse anyone, but you've seen the sort of those Stetson 5 priorities. You've seen our big rocks. They really merge together. They're different ways of categorizing. So when you think about leadership vision and systems, I just want to highlight a few where we're working to build leadership and leader and teacher efficacy, and really with initial implementation and data tracking about our recent efforts. We know these are just a start. Believe me, we do. So you'll see for the items on this particular side, you'll recall that Dr. Stetson emphasized the need for shared leadership and system support for our students in general education, being our students for receiving special education services, being seen as general education students first. She didn't mention that the leader was a leader, the person, the superintendent or the interim superintendent or assistant superintendent for special education or this particular team. What she really emphasized was our district having shared leadership and a shared vision for all students, and having shared ownership was really enacting that. And so what you can see from that is we kicked off with our Summer Leadership Institute on reimagining equitable and inclusive classrooms for schools and our students. That was done in partnership with our entire Leadership Institute for the first time. At least I've been in AISD since 1999 in the history of my time here in Austin ISD. And that was kicked off by Dr. Mays, Ms. Casas, Dr. Stetson, and was really an integrated approach and required all our principals and assistant principals to be co-led in a process by our team to begin practicing together how we can meet the needs of our students, both with special education, academics, leadership teams from the Office of School Leadership. At that time, we launched work that had been done by our inclusion work group of our guiding principles of inclusion, revision of our multi-tier systems of support process, and PLC structures for our teachers and for our campuses to begin to implement, really emphasizing inclusion as being dependent on strong and differentiated instructional practices for our learners. We know that professional learning for adults is much like student learning. It comes from practice and implementation. You can go to a great conference, you can have a great experience, but you have to have time to get in there in communities of practice and put those skills to work and make refinements, have strong evidence of improvement, and identify areas of future growth. So the infusion of special education Tier 1 instruction as a priority was not something that we could keep at the Summer Leadership Institute. It's also not something we could keep in when you look over into capacity building and to the summer course for professional learning. It's something we have to unpack throughout the year. And so most recently, we began sessions at our principals meetings, including last week, around looping in and reinforcing what are the strong practices from Tier 1 instruction? What do they look like? How do the things that you learned in the summer, how are those being unpacked and implemented in classrooms? What do the learning walks show as evidence of bright spots in areas where we need to have some additional leaning in and growth as well? So that will be part of an ongoing session, set of sessions of our learning series. But I want to say something that's unique and different. I'll mention the GAP action plan in just a moment. But when Dr. Stetson wrote something very compelling to us in her report, there are many compelling things, and she said for leadership and shared responsibility, quote, "The lack of consistent services for students with disabilities across the district could be a signal that the vision for the district remains for many at the statement level. It has not yet reached the implementation level. The implementation of the vision for students with disabilities needs to be a mandate for all departments." Last week, we had, actually, the last couple of weeks, we've been having academics teams leadership meetings, leadership series, where we're training and co-training all of our academic specialists, whether they are in MTSS or if they're in CPNI and SEL, or they're with our team, not only on multilingual strategies. I know our team is not here from the MET department tonight, but also around embracing the needs of our students with disabilities. Likewise, our team was invited to lead at the Superintendent's Central Leadership Series. The first central office leadership meeting that was held, we were the team that was there. And one of the things that was important is that this reinforces that we're collectively trying to achieve meet the needs of our students, and achieving that as a system, not as an afterthought, not after the fact, but in the way that we're thinking about and doing our work all together. So thank you to Interim Superintendent Mays for that as well. We're excited to be partnering not only in the instructional, the middle column really talks about the particular tools and resources that we are utilizing to operationalize this across our system, but we'd like to highlight something that we're going to need to do, because you can't be one and done with this work, with Dr. Stetson and her team as well. We will be implementing with her and in partnership with Dr. Stetson, Dr. Diaz, who is with academics, Dr. Villapando, and our Office of School Leadership team, really a Close the Gap Achievement and Action Plan, which has two important prongs, one around and closing the achievement gap for our students with disabilities, but also lifting the skills for all of our students, and then likewise having increasing inclusive practices. When you see those three rocks standing on each other, inclusive practices or inclusion is on, the second rock is around high quality instruction. You can't balance inclusion if you don't have meaningful, deep inclusion with high quality instructional practices, where people are considering the needs of learners in the first teach, not only in the intervention section. So we're excited that we've begun our action planning with her, had several kickoff meetings and planning meetings, and next Friday on November 4th, all of our instructional coaches and our executive directors for across departments will be meeting with her and our team around unpacking those strategies every other month, putting those into practice, and using the PLC structure with coaching and wraparound support for a smaller selection of schools, sort of high dosage for everyone and deeper dosage and coaching and support as well. So we look forward to having more of that fleshed out and able to speak to you about that at some of our future updates. Next slide, please. So the next steps in work at hand, you got to read some of the items that we highlighted on this slide before, really implementation and gathering data on how our plan is working. Ongoing professional learning for our instructional staff. For the first time this summer, they had the opportunity to have a required 3-hour course, and that was put as a priority for special education for all of our general ed teachers as well as our special education teachers. But that unpacking and that ongoing professional learning isn't just sitting through training. It has to be an orchestrated approach with system supports. And as we're looking at our inclusive practices and our data digs, we want to see where the bright spots are, and we also need to see where there are shadows or areas that we need to shine some additional support through communication and structures. And so with that, as we're reviewing that, we'll continue on with any questions and any comments from our interim superintendent. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Mays.
Thank you all. That generally concludes our report. Hopefully you all can see kind of the theme between this report and dual language of just really digging deep in terms of training across our system to be able to grow capacity, to be able to meet the needs of students. So I'll stop right there.
Thank you. Trustees, now is the time for us to ask questions on the current vision. Our goal tonight is monitoring and ensuring our reality matches the vision presented. So when asking questions, we should try to focus on the data presented, asking questions about who, what, why, and how. And Trustee Anderson, you had your hand up.
Thank you for this presentation. My questions are going to be focused on capacity building efforts. And one of the bullets talks about learning sessions and tools for parents and caregivers. And my questions are, will these be a one-time session or will it be ongoing?
So I can start with the learning series that we're doing with the staff, and then somebody else can talk about the parent sessions. So we are trying to be real intentional about it not being one and done, because we know that this is ongoing. And so as we're thinking through the training with our principals, because we're trying to make sure our principals and our executive directors are really true, strong instructional leaders, that our monthly meetings, we're embedding lessons around how to teach lessons and how do you impact the standards. And in the PLCs, when you're really looking at all students, what does that look like? What does that sound like? And so like this last week when we were doing Tier 1, it was helping our principals see this is the learning standard. This is what kids need to know and be able to do. Now let's problem solve. What does the planning need to look like so that they're differentiating the instruction, so that when they go back to their campus, they can redeliver it with their teachers and they can improve their lens too and how they're coaching as they're walking classrooms. So every month we're doing a session with our principals so that we're going deeper and really we're trying to make connections, so it's not, oh, we're talking about special ed this month, we're talking about MET this month, and then next week we're talking about instruction. No, we're talking about instruction all along and trying to be very intentional about how we see all of our students through the lens of instructional leadership. And then the series with the academics team and the school leadership team, bringing everybody together so that we're all speaking the same language. The intentionality with Dr. Stetson this year is we can't pull campuses off in teams because we can't find substitutes. So it's giving us that opportunity to go deeper with all of us so that we have a clear vision, we have standard language. So every one of our teams, whether you're in the counseling team or you're in the MTSS team, we all know what inclusion really means. What does that look like? So that as they're going out to support campus in one area, they'll have that frame of reference as they're supporting campuses, because we all have to be speaking the same language and we all have to be clear about what does that mean when we say inclusive practices, and what does that mean when 90% of our kids should be on grade level. You know, we all have to believe that it's possible or we'll never be able to change the system collectively. And then in terms of parents?
In addition to the work with capacity building with our teachers that Ms. Casas mentioned, we have one thing with teachers. We're building capacity also across our learning networks. So because we're by network, we have monthly meetings with our department chairs minimum and our representatives, but all special ed teachers are invited. Many general ed will attend as well as administrators. And we do some just-in-time pieces, not only reciprocal, like things that might be coming up, but also some additional micro-learning, if you will, during those sessions, because we need to be responsive to the things in the system. But we found this year we also needed to implement some cohort meeting structures. So sometimes teachers who are in similar settings or have some similar needs, whether they are in a novice or they are in applied learning, more life skills pieces, to also have some cohort sessions for them, not only to build for learning and capacity, but as part of our retention efforts to build a community of support for one another as well. Lots of words I just gave there on the parents. I want to qualify. We have parent power hours. We committed to doing parent power hours this year. In fact, one is going on right now. It might have ended at 7. At north and south locations. So those are scheduled monthly. Some are in person. The first 2 have been in person. The next one will be in Zoom. Those are on our site. We've sent out some messages around that as well. And in addition to that, the parent power hours, we have a partnership with Vela, which is part of a special education workshop series that they do both in Spanish and English, which is a series around how to create your child's what should be in an IEP, what should be in your child's special education toolkit, how do you prepare for ARD meetings. They have some additional sessions, both in Spanish and English, around some more particular things that we'll enter into in the spring around particularly students on the autism spectrum, but we work in partnership as well with them. The power hours are run by our special education department team and some of the expertise that we have within our department as well, but we likewise are looking at the syllabi, et cetera, for folks. It's a start. It's a start to begin to have that, the partnership with parents, outreach with our parents and community, and it's really just a beginning of ways that we can continue to grow with them.
Will these sessions be general, or will they be tailored to, if I'm a parent with a child who has autism or is dyslexic? So is it going to be general, or is it going to be tailored to specific?
So the answer, and you all can jump in as well as both and to that. So the initial session that we had with parents in our first power hour was, what should you how do you even expect to, what should you expect in goals in your child's individualized education program or IEP, and what are, here we go, present levels of academic achievement and functional performance, like what are those present standards or PLAFs, or what are those things, and how should that inform? What are the, and what we found is not only beautiful things happen when people come together, because they start to build camaraderie and they don't feel isolated. We've been an isolated department, and we've had an isolated group of parents in our district. And so the call to action is not lost on us to be able to forge those relationships with, not only with our department, we want them to do that with one another and in that capacity building. So the first one was more generalized. We did do a survey with parents as well to see what might be some particular topics that were of interest. And so that particular topic for this evening was around behavior management strategies, as well as some dyslexia and ADHD components. Dr. Lee did a recent presentation and session with parents around children with reading difficulties.
Yeah, and that was actually through our parent support specialist team. She coordinates all the parent support specialists on the campuses, and she's offering a virtual parent toolkit. These interpretation services are provided. They're all virtual, and they're about every 3 weeks. So far, they've covered nutrition, early literacy, as well as organizational strategies for your child, and then how to prepare a college application. So all sorts of, varied topics as well, and our department is partnering with her, which is a really exciting partnership to work, across the district.
So both, and in the spring, there'll be some additional strands as they emerge, both in our survey data for absolutely, parents with children that might on the autism spectrum, parents with children who might have specific learning disabilities that need some additional support, and that will be part of what we're designing. I wanted to say one other caveat, and I know it wasn't quite in your question, so if I may. What Dr. Lee just illustrated is these are small things, but we've been given, again, the call to action is, we met with all of our parent support specialists this year already. We're a small team, right? And so just even showing them, navigating what are the tools and pieces, the last thing we want is for a parent to go to a school and to feel as though if they approach a parent support specialist, or they approach someone, that someone says, I don't know, you'll need to call just the special education department. We want to be a source of a resource to parents and community by all means, and we realize there may be some specialized support that's necessary. At the same time, we want to equip them, and this will be part of a series of our touch points with them, so that there can be sort of nested learning community support within our schools as well, where people feel most comfortable, and as things are emerging, they can feel comfortable coming to us saying, these are things that we're hearing. How can we not only create a series for learning, but tools, resources, things that people can access. Our state has a SPED text, lots of virtual materials for parents as well. Those were never on our website until now. And so we're excited to have those things for folks as well, depending upon work schedules or other things that can be helpful to them.
Last question. How will these sessions support students who receive special education services and who are dealing with mental health challenges?
That's many of our students, and honestly, the mental health challenges and things we're facing in terms of our students' needs, making sure that that's part of why we're collaborating with the SEL CPNI team. We have our own set of counseling as related services component for folks as well. I mean, they support those needs, because when students can access learning in a setting and feel loved and cared for and honored, not only just in a sense of belonging, but that there are expectations and supports in place, that we want our parents to be equipped to feel as though they should expect that from our schools, and building that partnership with them is critically important to that. That then lifts not only the needs of our students in terms of their own sense of self-efficacy and feeling skilled and that they're progressing, but also acknowledging where there needs to be additional supports for them as well. That's just something that we're continuing to work on.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Trustee Anderson. Trustees, other questions? Trustee Boswell.
Thank you all for this. I really appreciate not only the update about the data, but such a thorough update about all that you're doing and bringing back to us what you shared with us in June. So thank you. Thank you, Dr. Lee, for talking to us who are auditory learners and visual learners with your shirt. Thank you. And I would say, Dr. Robinette, you said it was a small thing to be going and talking with all the parent support specialists, making sure that the parent's first point of contact is a helpful point of contact. And I would say it may have been a small investment of time, but it's a really profoundly big thing to do. So thank you for that. I have a couple of data questions. One is, when you're looking at the growth from beginning of year to beginning of year and seeing that larger growth in math, and I know we've seen larger gaps in math achievement in the data, are we seeing similar patterns that we've talked about before that math has? If you catch the scaffold, the thing that's missing, you kind of make the big leap, and that reading is just a harder climb. What are we seeing there?
Yeah, we talked about that math, it's a little different because you learn a bunch of skills and they build upon each other, versus reading, it's the same skills, it's just the complexity of the text. And so math, we see that we're making greater strides because the use of manipulatives and just the teaching around math is helping students, accelerate their learning. And reading, it is taking us a little bit longer because it is building those foundational skills. And so thinking about the gaps of COVID, and you possibly had fifth graders that had, second, third grade reading. And so getting them to be able to stay on the grade level is taking us a little bit longer. But I think that the exciting thing to look at is that when you look at students receiving special ed compared to their gen ed peers, that the growth is pretty comparable. We're not seeing the huge gaps as we do when we look at the on grade level or above. So that's kind of exciting to see that they're growing at the same rate as their peers.
Thank you for that. And I really appreciate your pointing out that we're looking at growth, and growth is a great thing to look at, but that may not be helping us see our progress toward the actual goal, that the progress measures may not be perfectly aligned. And I do appreciate your suggestion that we think about something before maybe our middle of the year check-in that we can add to this to really see if we're getting closer to that. So I welcome input about that from all of you. So thank you for that. And I think, and then, what should students be seeing in the classroom that's different, and what should families be looking for that's different as you move into these new systems? Kind of what is the impact that our families and our students should be feeling?
So we would hope that our students are being very included in instruction versus I'm trying to word so there's a tendency to students who have special needs to send them somewhere else to get service, to send them to the resource teacher. And so what we're really we're working towards that as we're talking about differentiated instruction and really looking at our PLC process to ask those questions about how are you differentiating for the needs of students, that we would see in a classroom the needs of kids being differentiated. So I may have an outline of what we're learning because I need something that's very sequential so I can follow it. Drew may just have nothing because she's auditory and she's listening. And so we would want to see differentiated activities so that students can see that their needs are being met, that they have access to the learning, and that their disability isn't in the way of it. So we would like to see that students feel like they're empowered and they're also involved in goal setting and that they are also having the same conversation as their gen ed peers.
Trustee Boswell, I just want to go back to emphasizing the importance of PLCs because that's where all of that should take place during that planning time, is that you plan to accommodate your students' needs. And so when you walk into the classroom, you should see, like she said, a variety of accommodations that we are mandated by law to provide to all of our students as they are prescribed from the ARD. So you should see that in action in the classroom.
I would add that if we are really doing the differentiated instruction, that our students receiving special ed won't feel different. Because we're talking about all students, and even if you're not identified as special ed, COVID has created gaps in learning, and so every student should have differentiated. So it's not, because I am a student who receives special ed, I have something different. No, all students in the classroom should feel like they're part of the environment and there's differentiating. So nobody should be able to tell who is what if we're doing really good Tier 1 instruction.
Thanks, Ms. Casas. I appreciate you saying that because I was like, I want to make sure we punctuate that as well. What we're trying to do, and I appreciate anyone who uses the word profound in anything that we're trying to do, I'm very grateful because small things sometimes, when you even think about 4 questions in the professional learning community or PLC process, what do we want students to know and be able to do? How do we know? We're trying to emphasize what do we want all students to know and be able to do? What do we want? What do we know when all students get there? And actually, when we're in our PLC process, not having our teachers working to plan for multiple entry points to learning in any lesson. In other words, you said thank you to Dr. Lee for the shirt that she had as a visual for you. When we're doing a turn and talk with students, how do we scaffold and say prior to a small pre-teach that says, I want you to jot 3 things that you hear from this particular event, and then you're prepping for the conversation that's about to have. For our students, well, for many students, for many principals from the meetings that we've been to, it's very helpful to lay out those particular things with a scaffold, whether it's literally a graphic organizer, maybe it's Post-its for all. It sometimes, if those things happen, it doesn't mean that everyone didn't benefit from that or some people needed it more than others. Then you're likewise meeting an accommodation and a scaffold that, as you mentioned, doesn't bring out the difference. You don't wait to bring that out in the intervention process, right? I'm going to break out the graphic organizer if on the first teach there's the lack of strategies or there's sort of generalized strategies that don't particularly they're not tailored for the needs of the learners. So knowing your learners, and we're in progress here. And as a system, you're going to find pockets of excellence and pockets of where we need to grow. And so that's what we're trying to work together in and around, is really aligning even when people are walking into our classrooms and providing support through instruction, through coordination, through learning walks, that we're even speaking the same language to begin with. And that's why the mindset, coupled with tools and strategies, what are known as some different high leverage practices, and for students, that we have time to then practice in and around those. And Dr. Stetson's going to hold us to a small collection of those that we then look for and have evidence of, and then look at where's the data tracking for students. But it's you get practice in doing that enough, then we actually start to have what folks call more universal design for our students.
And I would just like to add on, as well as, what you're going to see, what parents are going to want to see and should be seeing, is that, number one, teachers are using assessment data and talking about that data with parents, and they're also able to celebrate and talk about progress. So that's going to be key. Kids are going to be using, accommodations and tools, and they're going to be readily available. And I'll give you a real-world example that just happened today. I was on an elementary school campus, first grade math, and children were learning about skip counting. We're skip counting by fives. And so there was a very large hundreds chart in the front of the room. And, when I walked in and I was observing and one child was having a little bit of difficulty, I said, do you have any tools? Do you have any strategies that you use? And they said, well, yes, I do. I have my hundreds chart here at my desk. We also have the one at the front of the room, but it's a little far. So the child pulled out their hundreds chart. Again, that's an example of a strategy that the child had, and the other children were talking to about the strategies they were using to complete this activity, right? So that's what we want to see. We want to see children able to use their tools and talk about their tools. In another example, I went into a third grade class, and the students were reading independently, and there was 3 students that were using their Learning Ally account, right? All the students were reading independently. These students were, on Learning Ally, selecting books, reading. The teachers, had Learning Ally accounts. Those are things that we want to see and should be seeing, and, parents are going to be seeing as well with their children. Their children know how to use the tools and know how to use the tools that are intended for them to support them and their access. And the other thing is just, standards. We want to see all kids having access to grade level standards. And when I was, on this walk today, I saw that happening across classrooms, and I saw tools being used. So that's what we want to see.
Great. Thank you all very much. I really appreciate that. And then I have just one more comment for my fellow trustees. When Dr. Stetson was here, she challenged us to work with our community, work with each other, and create and adopt a very clear vision for special education that she said would be helpful as we move toward this. And I really would love to just keep that in front of us and keep that on a future agenda, work with our community, work with our staff to really come up with something that can be our guide and our North Star in this work with her, according to her advice. So thank you.
Thank you. We need to add that to our governance meeting and see how we move forward in the administration and the community on that. So thank you for that reminder. Trustee Ashe?
Thank you. First of all, Dr. Gill, I think you should stand up and show your shirt, because you've talked about your shirt, but we can't see it from where you're sitting. So, see, oh yay! So whoever has the camera, get it off me, and let's put it where we can see the shirt. Yeah, see, there's the shirt. There it is. Yes. I mean, because as you were referencing, Dr. Robinette, Marketing Works, my child still repeats, can sing the nationwide jingle. There's nothing I can do about it. I know that Marketing Works, so I wanted to give you that opportunity.
Thank you.
I really do appreciate your candor. I think if we don't acknowledge that the problem exists, it makes it harder for us to address the problem. And so thank you for coming up and discussing some of these things that are harder to address. And I speak specifically about what I feel like you are, or what I'm hearing you tell me is a modeling of a more inclusive attack, if you will, or move forward between special education teachers and regular education teachers. And I don't even like saying it that way. However, those are the terms that we currently use to differentiate between a typically developing children and children who are developing differently. And so I would wonder, because you're talking about doing this, and I think I do want to kind of make sure we're level setting some expectations about what this type of work, what type of effort, and what type of a timeline it takes to make such a monumental shift in education, where for years special education has been siloed, and it's not just in AISD. That exists across education. So I was just wondering if you could kind of put put that in some context, not just for my trustees and myself, but really for the public to kind of understand you're not moving a speedboat, you're moving and not even a cruise ship. You're moving a barge. I mean, you're moving like the one that got stuck in the Suez. Like, we're talking about that. And so I was just hoping you might be able to put some context around that.
So I would venture to say, instead of the attack, it's really more of the merging of our gen ed teachers and our teachers who teach special ed, and moving towards a culture of away from your kids, my kids, but they're our kids, right? And that's the book study that we did with our parents and our SEAC group last year, and the task force and our principals, because it really is a mind shift, right? It's not just about the practices. We also have to look at belief systems and people really believing that it's possible, because if our practices have led us to the outcomes that we've had, that's all we know. So until we, really show them how to do things differently and they start to feel some success, then that will help us shift the mindset and the culture, right? Because the culture really drives your actions and your beliefs drive your culture. And so tackling it from all, not just the technical and the tactical side, but also the emotional and the feeling side about, our kids really are gen ed students. And until we really all believe that and embrace that, then our outcomes will continue to look the way they do. So it's that whole thing. They're our kids. They don't belong in a resource class or somewhere else. They're all of our kids. And we as adults can change our practices to get different outcomes. And, being clear about what that's going to look like might feel a little icky at first, but I think that once people start to feel those outcomes, there's going to be an excitement of, oh my God, I never knew that Drew could do that. And because we gave her this scripted outline, now she's able to participate and answer questions, Because think about, as a kid, when a teacher asks a question, your heart starts to beat, oh my God, they're going to call on me. But if we do the pre-teaching, as Drew said, that, okay, think of 3 things, right before they get into the lesson, then when they're doing a turning talk, the student has already thought of those 3 things, and their heart isn't beating and they're not panicking that they're going to have to engage in that, because we've done some pre-thing to give them access to the grade level content. I don't know if you would add anything.
The only other thing I would add is, in working with Dr. Stetson, she told us it would take us, we have a 3-year plan, 3 to 5. I mean, I would love for it to be sooner. If it can make a difference for 5 more, 10 more, 20 more, 10,500 more would be awesome, in mindsets and in planning. I perceive this as, we had good feedback from folks about what they thought the benefits of inclusion. But the ownership of inclusion is different than the benefits of inclusion, and Dr. Stetson had that, and so had found that in her study, or in her review. One of the things I would say is that I think of it as, this is probably not the best analogy, but when you're just beginning to I don't know, ride a bike or practice something, you sort of either stick to the manual, or you're slippery and things aren't quite working out the way that you meant to be. You try and you try. We need to have people through the PLC process, through the high leverage practices tools, the videos and pieces, and the 50 instructional strategies, try on those entry points of learning, starting from what is the standard, what's the learning goal, what are those interim checkpoints. It's going to improve instructional practice for all children. That's something we need to be clear about. But what it will do is, if it's done with intention on the front end, reframing her statement, Dr. Stetson's statement when she came and did her presentation, again with principals, was a reminder, and it was, where is Tier 1? How do we have that from the beginning? That is going to be foundational to not moving the special education barge, but the achievement barge for our entire school district. If we put because all of our learners, whether they are identified or not, have many different learning needs. And what we find is it also contributes, if we have strong instruction, we can mitigate a learning gap rather than turning it into a learning disability, which it may be or may not, right? But so it's going to take several years with that work, but it will be a relentless pursuit for sure.
And again, I appreciate your honesty about that. And I do, like you all, I'm sure, hope that we could move at a faster rate, and also recognize that this is, these norms that exist have been in existence for a long time. And as a special education teacher, I do remember going into the after-school with all the staff, and you'd have the first grade team, and the second grade team, and third grade team, and the special education team. And so I'm wondering if you could speak to that, because it sounds like we were talking a lot about PLCs and the benefit and what that can do for these goals that you've laid out of the integration. How are the PLCs used? How are our special education teachers integrated through that?
I'll start and then I'll kick it off to the team. One thing that we did recently is when we did the elementary planning time with the PLCs, that we added a stipend for grade level chairs to lead the PLCs. And then we heard from our special ed department chairs, they're like, well, wait, what about us? We have to go to multiple grade levels. And I was like, oh, darn it, we missed that. But we did add it back, and that also gave us that entry point to pull them once a month, to also have the touch point with every school so that we can trickle down information. And so having them be part of the PLC is important. That does become a scheduling thing. And so normally, if we were fully staffed, I would be assigned to K1, 2, 3, depending on how it is. And so right now it is an issue until we're fully staffed as to where their touch points are and what their caseload looks like.
Yeah, and our best examples, and we have several of those. There's the time is carved out, as you mentioned, across multiple grade levels and frequent touch points in those PLCs as part of that design. What a compliment, it's not that, a compliment I heard from a special education leader who is a strong advocate for us to improve was, wow, for the first time I'm actually having folks see us and in partnership in that way. I've heard more about inclusion in the last, and in high instructional practice in the last bit of time than I've heard in a decade. Now that is, you got to sustain momentum on that, right? A commercial is good, a jingle's good. My kid's 7777777. You probably know what that's for, but you remember certain things, but you actually have to sustain momentum on that, and that happens in the structures. You're right, and that as we learn more about where do we need to carve out more time and structures for that to happen, we're open to that in the planning to the extent possible that we can do that with our team members.
And how or what can the Board of Trustees do to support that, or what do you need or from us, or is there anything that we could do to support you in that? That's a big question, sorry.
I think right now for us, it's the challenges that we face with the vacancies. Across the board, whether they're special ed or gen ed, we just have so many vacancies that we're all, trying to be all hands on deck and trying to meet the needs. And so I think that the goal of being the highest paid district in the region is one that could help long run. But I don't know that we need anything else at the time. I'll turn it over to the team. Yeah.
Well, we will be working closely with Ms. Hozek and Mr. Ramos about proposals to attract people here, and we want to have the right working conditions to sustain and support. We've got tremendously dedicated people. Some of those folks have a special education certification, can do specially designed instruction, but we want all of our teachers to see themselves as special education teachers, if that makes sense, but not with necessarily, I don't want to imply without the specially designed instruction and skills and additional training and development. So that will be important. And as we're thinking creatively in and around those schedules and structures for support, there may be a particular ask in terms of the design, but that piece is really important to us. And we were very excited. It wasn't just from department chairs, it was from the department saying we need to make sure that we likewise compensate people who are serving in those that capacity at the elementary level as well. So those are the things we want to sustain over time and continue to have some momentum around. You guys may have some better answers than I did. I'm sorry.
I think your support of inclusive practices will help us throughout the year and many years to come. We still have some mindsets to change, And I know that our parents want their children in inclusive settings. They want their children to feel that they belong and are learning to their maximum abilities in our general education settings. And so that support is greatly needed by the board.
Trustee
from the
Ashley,
board.
I would continue to say empathy, because I want to continue to emphasize that you said this is a 3 to 5 year process. And I know we've had these conversations, amongst ourselves, but like she said, it's a mindset shift. And I think empathizing with the team, empathizing with those that are challenged to make the mindset shift at the implementation level, I think, and then sense making for those that may be challenged as you talk about PLCs and putting in the time and putting in the work and going through the training and the additional obligations. Those are paradigm shifts for our system. And so I think continuing to help sense make and empathizing with the leaders and the team that's in front of you.
I definitely think the financial compensation piece would help. And I also want to, maybe suggest that the board could support supplemental pay for teachers when they're attending training over the summer beyond their PLC or their PLED credit that they're trying to earn, because it is difficult to get subs right now. So it is difficult to attend training during the day, and many of our trainings are full day or even week-long trainings. But to be able to offer supplemental pay for those folks when they're going through over the summer, I think would be really powerful and a powerful incentive for them, and maybe even increasing that supplemental pay for attending trainings as well might be something important.
Thank you. And I will also take an opportunity to, because I'm sure every state legislator in the state of Texas is watching our school board meeting right now. And yet I'm still going to say, I'm going to take the same opportunity that I take every single time. I hope that the next legislative session that the legislature will do what needs to be done to allow school districts to pay teachers what they deserve to be paid, and will show them the respect that they deserve, and that is partially monetary. It is a reflection of what we value as a society. So I will take that small opportunity, and then also take the opportunity to say thank you to every special education teacher that we have. For those who may not be aware, special education teachers have the additional responsibility of federal requirements that take up a lot of their time. And I can tell you right now that if I can tell you when I was teaching, if I had been given additional planning time, I probably would have, in my initial just like gut reaction, would have said, I'm going to take that time to do all the paperwork that I'm required to do. And so it's amazing to me that we still have people who are in such you want to talk about hard work. It is hard work. And I'm so appreciative of my colleagues who still do that and still say, you know what, even as I'm still given more and more things that are going to fall on my plate, not just from AISD, not just from the state of Texas, but also by our federal government, that they continue to do the work that they're doing. So thank you. Thank you for everything you do for our students. You are seen and you are appreciated.
Thank you, Trustee Ashley. Trustee Singh.
Thanks, y'all. I love when you guys all come up because you're so cohesive, and I see like the evolution of your just relationships with each other. I bet you can finish each other's sentences. So it's really nice to see, and our kids are going to benefit from it, so thank you. And I appreciate, Ms. Casas, that you talked about vacancies, because that was something that was top of mind for me too, and I'm sure for several of us up here is, because I remember reading in Stetson that I think about a third of our vacancies were in special education, and I'm guessing that most of those are probably in our Title I schools, which would align with some of the outcomes that we're seeing, right? So I guess my question would be, and if you don't have this data right now, that's cool, but like I would really love to be able to see kind of a little bit more detail on like the correlation between our student outcomes and vacancies, because I bet there is one.
We're calling up Ms. Hosick.
You want my chair?
No, my chair, we'll trade out here.
You can finish my sentence. Good evening, Board. Thank you for having me. Just a quick update so that we can put a number to what we're talking about with vacancies. Roughly about 60 teacher vacancies in special education as of today. That does not count for what might be encumbered with a recommendation for hire. Right now, 37 of those are at a Title I campus, so just above 50%. And then it is actually very similar numbers for the TA vacancies, 68 overall, 38 of those at a Title I campus.
Thank you. I appreciate that. Do you happen to know, do we allow flexibility? Like, are we offering like part-time jobs and trying to create more flexible positions to attract people?
We have created greater flexibility across the board with, can I turn a 1.0 FTE into 2 half-time positions? Absolutely. We grant those as often as we can. We also create greater flexibility with, obviously, as a high-need area, retiree hirement. You know, please, come back. We would love to hire you back. But yes, ma'am, for greater flexibility, we are more than fine splitting those into 2 part-time positions.
That would be great. I mean, and I think that would be a real selling point because I haven't seen a lot of school districts advertise for that. But just, you know, being a working mom myself, I know like I would have jumped on something that, because it's so hard to find a part-time job that's in your field of expertise,
Right.
you know? And so I think that would be a really cool way to kind of distinguish
We can
us.
certainly do a better job advertising that. We do allow it, and we are happy to advertise that.
Awesome. Thank you. And then I guess I had a question. I know this report is so full of data. I can't imagine there's any other school district that's looking at the data like this. And I was really glad to see that this is sort of like a within group design. So you're looking at the same students, you know, the same group of students from one year to the next. So that's really helpful because these are actually the growth numbers for the same group of students. But I did notice that these are just for kiddos who did the English test. Do we know like what percentage of our students in special education are captured in this data? Is it like 80% or is it like 50%? You know, I mean, do you feel like it's pretty representative?
There's a total of 10,000 students, and if I'm looking at the report correctly, we tested 5,312, so roughly about 50%.
Okay. And then, so this data represents a little over half of our students who are receiving special education services. Okay. Do you guys have a sense of like how the other half are doing?
Well, some of those students,
No, the bilingual we don't right here tonight.
some of the students wouldn't be at tested grade levels per se. Like our, early childhood
Oh, that's
students,
right.
our kinder
Okay.
and our first and our second. And then some would have already, like aged out, like our, 18
it.
plus.
Okay.
Right?
Okay, that's helpful.
MAP growth is only kindergarten through 8th grade. So when
Yeah.
you're looking also
Yeah.
at the goal, it's all
Okay.
tests, all
Yeah.
subjects, all levels as well. But we can delve into getting that data.
Okay, I
and
mean, I
further
don't need
providing.
like, I was just curious to know, like, do you guys feel like this is pretty representative? I mean, that's what I'm really getting at. Do y'all feel like this is pretty representative of the students and the grades that are being tested?
I think that one thing that we did learn at the end of the first full year is the data was pretty consistent and pretty aligned. So I feel pretty confident to say that yes, that it would be pretty aligned.
Okay. And do we know if we have any students who were taking these assessments in Spanish that wouldn't be included in this data set?
Yes.
Okay. I would be curious to know if they also fared similarly. That would be good. And again, I wouldn't say that's like you've got plenty on your plate. So, but I think when we start talking about like going back and revisiting our dual language stuff, I would be interested in kind of seeing the testing data for our Spanish-speaking students. And then I had to give, I got to give a shout out. Overton. Yes.
What the heck? Like, they had, so they had like, this school has 94% of their students who are economically disadvantaged, and 85% of their economically disadvantaged students in special education, achieved their target growth in reading.
And I want to shout out Barbara Childs there, who is the dyslexia
Yes.
interventionist, who partners very closely with the special education teachers on that campus. It is a great model. She's an amazing literacy leader. And so, of course, we can't attribute it to one person, but I definitely want to shout out her and the collaboration and the leadership from that principal that allows that to happen.
That's amazing.
Yeah, it's a model. Absolutely.
It got
Wow.
2 stars on the chart.
I would
for
love
sure.
to, can we take a field trip? Like, I would love to, I mean, not now, but at some point, like, when we see these, like, I mean, that's, when you look at the numbers, that one just jumped off the page, and I was like, what are they doing there?
That's right.
It would be really a joy to kind of see what that looks like, so yay to them. And then you mentioned a book study. What was the book that you all read?
We can provide you a copy of the book. Your
Yes.
Students, My Students, Our Students. It's written by Dr. Leanne Jung. Douglas Reeves. It's a collection of authors, and it was part of our inclusion work group. And Dr. Jung came and worked with them as well, and helping to sort of frame for the guiding principles of inclusion. We can't. She'll be back. We just can't do all of it all at once every day, but as well, and that's part of it. So we'll
appreciate that.
get some copies to Laura for all of you if you would like those, and those were
Okay.
provided to all of our campus leaders as well.
Thank you. I think that kind of speaks to when Trustee Boswell was talking about the board creating a vision. It's, for SPED, it helps if we've read the same things that you all, so we don't come up with a totally different vision. But that's really cool. And then, I think that's it, but I really do appreciate, I can tell so much effort went into this. I would just ask, like, going forward, it would be helpful to see on the, on part 4, like on the progress section, some more detail on vacancies. Because I really feel like that has more to do with the where we see low scores probably than a lot of other factors that we're talking about. And so, I do want to acknowledge that and try to see the relationship between vacancies and student outcomes. Thank you.
Thank you, Trustee Singh. Trustees, other questions? I have 2. One is for you all and one is for my colleagues on the board. The question is for you all is, when is the dyslexia conference again?
Awesome. It is going to be virtual and asynchronous, meaning you can watch as many of the sessions as you want. You can curate whichever ones work for you. You will register online, and it will be running for 1 week for external participants and 6 weeks for our internal Austin ISD staff. Starts tomorrow.
Starts tomorrow. Great. Thank you. And then, as part of our commitment to monitoring, the last question is to ask if trustees accept the report presented as it aligns with our goals and constraints, and if not, to ask if this is still the right strategy for the district. So trustees, please raise your right hand if you're ready to accept tonight's report. So thank you, trustees, for taking part in the shared commitment to students and student outcomes. Thank you all for the great presentation. Dr. Mays, thank you as well. We will now move to the consent agenda. Trustees, are there any consent items anyone would like to pull for a separate vote? If not, Secretary Singh, do I have a motion to approve the consent agenda?
Yes, I move that we approve items 10.1, 11.1 through 11.4, 12.1 through 12.4, 13.1 through 13.7, 14.1 through 14.5, and that's it.
Okay, is there a second? Is there a second?
Second.
So trustees, is there any discussion on any of these consent items? Just one point of clarification, Trustee Singh, is it 14.1 to 14.5?
Five.
I need to read my own handwriting. So having a motion by Secretary Singh and a second by Trustee Anderson to approve consent agenda items 10.1, 11.1 through 11.4, 12.1 through 12.4, 13.1 to 13.7, and 14.1 to 14.5. All those in favor, please raise your right hand. And the motion passes by all those on the dais. We will now, let's see, we didn't have any pulled items. So we will now move to abstention items for separate vote. Trustee Singh, do we have a motion to approve items 15.1 to 15.2?
Yes, I move that we approve item 15.1, Memorandum of Understanding between the University of Texas at Austin, Texas Higher Education Coordinating Board, and Austin ISD for Advise Texas College Advising Core Program, and 15.2, approval of an interlocal agreement between the University of Texas at Austin and Austin ISD for government subsidized work-study student employment programs benefiting AVID students.
Is there a second?
Second.
Trustees, is there any discussion on these items? Hearing none and having a motion by Secretary Singh and a second by Trustee Anderson to approve item 15.1 to 15.2, all those in favor, please raise your right hand.
Were you going to abstain?
Yeah. Raise your right hand. Okay, all those opposed, all those abstaining. So the motion passes 5 in favor, 0 opposed, and showing Trustee Foster abstaining on the vote. We will now move to items for a separate vote. Trustee Singh, do we have a motion to approve item 16.1?
Yes, I move we approve item 16.1, DC Local.
Is there a second?
Second.
Trustees, is there any discussion on this item? And if not, is there any?
No,
Okay.
it's okay.
Sorry. Having a motion by Secretary Singh and a second by Trustee Anderson to approve agenda item 16.1, all those in favor, please raise your right hand. And the motion passes by all those on the dais. So Trustee Singh, do we have a motion to approve agenda item 16.2?
Yes, I move that we approve item 16.2, EHBAF Local.
Is there a second?
Second.
Trustees, is there any discussion on this item?
My only comment is, I'm happy to approve this item. I would just like to formally request that the policy committee work with the administration, if possible, to specify how we would let parents know that they have the right to request cameras in a way that's equitable and accessible to all parents.
We can do that.
Thank you.
Great. Thank you. Trustees, any other questions? If not, having a motion by Secretary Singh and a second by Trustee Anderson to approve item 16.2, all those in favor, please raise your right hand. And the motion passes by all those on the dais. So to our community, we will now recess the open meeting at 8:08 p.m. and move to executive session pursuant to Texas Government Code Sections 551.074, 551.072, 551.073, 551.087, 551.076, and 551.071. For our viewers at home, this concludes our live broadcast. When we are finished with the executive session, we will briefly return to open session to formally adjourn the meeting. The adjournment will be recorded and be included in all replays of tonight's meeting, so thank you for joining us and have a good evening.